Here are the top 10 ways to get more onboard credit to use as spending money while on your next cruise vacation. Onboard cruise credit is cruise cash that you can spend while you're on a ship. You can use it to pay for pretty much whatever you want while you're on a cruise. I personally love getting cruise cash, and I'm really excited about sharing these tips with you. Whether you're a new, experienced, or seasoned cruiser, there is something here for everyone. In fact, if you stay until the end of this video, I will be giving you a bonus list of additional ways to fatten up your onboard credit. So go and grab some paper and a pen, and I'll meet you right back here. Well, I hope you have your pen and paper because I'm going to get started on my list of 10 ways to get more onboard cruise credit for your next cruise. This is in no particular order, but I do have to say this first one is one of my favorites off this top 10 list, which is, drumroll please, the stockholders perk. So, if you have plans to cruise often, then you should definitely look into the stockholders perk of the cruise brand that you think that you will use most often. Or if you can afford it, you can buy shares at all of the different cruise lines. So there are stockholder perks with many cruise lines, but today I'm going to use the example of Carnival Corporation for purposes of explaining the highlights to you. Carnival Corporation, under its umbrella, has the cruise lines that include Princess, Holland America, Costa Cruises, Seabourn, Cunard, P&O, Ada, and the obvious Carnival. So Kirk and I cruise a lot on those cruise lines, so we purchased 100 shares in their stock, CCL. But basically how it works is because I have the stock, every time I travel on one of their cruises, I get anywhere from $50 to $250 of onboard cruise credit. So you can't trade your credit in for cash, but you can pretty much buy anything using your perk on the ship. Depending on the length of your cruise and your cabin type, it would determine how much of a credit that you would get. For example, if I booked a 14-day cruise on Princess in a balcony cabin, I would get $250 US, whereas if I were in an interior on the same ship for 6 days, I would get a $50 onboard spending credit. I did make a video about the shareholder benefit, and I kind of outline it in depth, although it's changed a little bit, but it's super easy to get, and your initial investment of purchasing the stock gets paid back in these credits. In our case, having been on so many cruises, we've gotten our initial investment of the stock back, and everything from now on is like a bonus. Loyalty programs. Not all cruise line loyalty programs are the same, and definitely not created equally, even under the same cruise umbrella. A huge tip from me would be that you need to make sure that you're a member of the loyalty program for each cruise line that you go on. Most cruise lines automatically enroll you, but there are lines like Costa where you have to manually sign up yourself, or you just won't be part of their program. There are a few cruise lines that offer onboard credits to their loyalty program members, and I'll give you a few examples. Number one, if you're in Holland America's Mariner Society loyalty program and you book a new launch of a ship or a season within 90 days, then you will get up to $400 of onboard credit. And here is another one. If you're in at least the second tier of MSC's loyalty program, you will get $50 per person of onboard credit for every cruise that you take, and that's just because you're in their loyalty program. Which brings me to my next essential tip: status match. Did you know that a few cruise lines, whether you've traveled with them in the past or not, will match your status of another cruise line? This means that some cruise lines honor your status and match some or all of your perks. For example, we went on Virgin Cruises and MSC lines, never having been on either of them before, and they matched our higher end loyalty tier that we have on Princess Cruises. So, Virgin Cruises gave us a number of bonuses, but most importantly, they gave us $100 onboard cruise credit to use in their bars. In other words, going back to my previous tip, is I'm going to emphasize that you should get yourself to the highest tier that you can on one cruise line so that you can be status matched to get more benefits, bonuses, and other extras when you try out all of these other cruise lines. Another great way to get onboard cruise credit is to refer someone to a cruise line. Do you know of anyone looking to book a cruise on your favorite cruise line? Well, likely you can both benefit. They don't have to be on the same cruise as you. In fact, you're just saying to your friend or whoever, look, you should try out such and such a cruise line. And then they do all of the work of booking the cruise and providing your membership number in the end so that both of you will get the online credit bonus. For example, I referred a few friends to the Princess line, and all three of these people booked a cruise. Each of them received a $25 onboard credit, and I received $25 for each of their bookings. So that totaled an additional $75 worth of onboard cruise credit from my three referrals to use on my next cruise with Princess. Holland America does the same with $50 credits. Windstar and Viking do it as well, and they're at $100. And Seabourn, well, they do it for $250 each. Now, if you would like me to refer you to Princess or Holland America, I'd be happy to do so that we can both collect the onboard spending money. Just send me a note and I'll make sure to get your onboard credit by referring you. And my next tip is to buy future cruise credit or FCCs. Most cruise lines that I know of have future cruise credits that you can purchase while on board that will help you on your next sailing with them. These future cruise credits range in price and their terms, but in general, the amount that you pay for them, let's say $100, gets taken off the total price of your next cruise, and you get spending credit of the same amount, $100, for onboard spending. You can buy multiple future cruise credits if you wish, but you need to be warned that you should really be familiar with their terms in case they've changed. For example, we recently just purchased 3 Princess Cruise future cruise deposits at $100 each. But we didn't realize that the terms were changed since the last time that we purchased. So instead of having 2 years to book a future cruise, we now only have 1 year now to book all 3 of these future cruises on Princess. At any rate, the future cruise credit gives you $100 off the cost of your next cruise, and it is also allowing you to use it as a deposit. So rather than paying $800 for a deposit, you just use the credit. But in terms of this video, I need to mention that you also get the $100 onboard credit as a free bonus to spend while on board. So another example is that we bought a future cruise credit on Cunard Cruises, and those cost $300 each. They give their clients 4 years from the date of purchase to use it, and they give you the $300 of onboard cruise credit. So in my opinion, whether it's $100 or $300, It's always nice to get a bonus off of a future cruise, and obviously, it's even greater to get some additional cash as spending money while on board your ship. Well, we have made it through 5 points already, and I still have way more to go. Hopefully, so far you've heard something useful by this point, but if not, I'm about to share with you some more great ideas on how you can get more onboard cruise cash for your next cruise. But before I go on, could I please ask for you to like this video and subscribe to this channel? I would also ask that you put a comment below saying that you've subscribed and maybe even tell me about your favorite tip that I've shared with you so far today. This next tip will only benefit those who are or were in a special service, such as being in the military, fire, or police services. Princess and Cunard have a military benefit of $250, and Holland America's military benefit is $100. So you do have to send in proof and fill out forms to submit, but it's really worth it in the end if you qualify. And if you go on Royal Caribbean, they recognize fire and police services, and they also give additional onboard credit. Again, you just have to fill out their paperwork, and then the amount of your free onboard spending credit will be determined from there. You should also consider using a travel agent or travel company because many of them have access to additional bonuses, such as onboard spending money. A lot of them will give you basically a percentage of the value of your trip as cruise credits, and that's just showing a nice gesture as a thank you for using them. In our experience, these additional amounts have ranged anywhere from $30 to hundreds of dollars. And what about cruise promotions? There are so many different kinds of cruise promotions practically running all of the time. Sometimes you will find additional cruise credits attached to certain cruises or for certain time periods of travel, and you just have to book at the right time. For example, there was a really great promotion that we took advantage of last year that offered an additional $600 of onboard credit for an August sailing on a ship that was still not full. We booked it right away, and that onboard cruise credit ended up paying for a couple of really great excursions. So you should sign up to receive emails from your favorite cruise lines, and you should also be prepared to start looking to book your cruises during certain sale times of the year, which normally would include days like Black Friday, Cyber Monday, Christmas, and even your own birthday. These emails will keep you up to date about sales and promotions that include free stuff or huge discounts, and you guessed it, onboard cruise credits. If you book cruises and use their branded credit card, you could rack up a lot of onboard credit. First of all, just for qualifying and receiving your new card, you automatically get points which translate into cruise credit. Additionally, for each purchase that you make, you will earn more points that add up to even more onboard cruise credits. For example, if you sign up for Princess's Visa card, they will start you off with 20,000 points, which equates to $200 of onboard credit that you can use on any of your future sailings with Princess. Again, if you use the credit card, you get points for everything that you buy. So you could buy groceries at home or buy another cruise on the ship. Basically, it all adds up to more cruise cash. Some other credit cards out there include Carnival Cruises. They also give you 20,000 points, which is equivalent to 200 cruise cash. And Norwegian Cruise Line has a MasterCard, and they give you 25,000 points, which amount to $250 of onboard cruise credits. So, depending on your spending habits using your credit card, that could really determine your amount of spending on board for your next vacation. And another point is maybe you should take more cruises on specific cruise lines. Not all cruise lines do this, but they are out there. So if you take more cruises on some lines, you will actually get some really great bonuses, such as a free cruise. But this topic of this video is about getting onboard cruise credits. So if you travel on Windstar, for example, they award their repeat passengers with bonus onboard cruise credits of either $75 per person or $100 per person, depending on how many cruises you've been on with them in the past. So let me take the time to thank you for watching until the end. And I hope these 10 ways to get more onboard cruise credit will line your pockets even thicker so that you can have the additional money to do things like buy an excursion, buy a specialty restaurant experience, or do that special activity that costs extra, or even pay off your cruise gratuities. And now for your bonuses. I have 5 more ideas to share with you on how you can get more onboard cruise cash. That they didn't make my top 10 list, but they're still great in their own regard. I won't give you a huge explanation as some of these are self-explanatory, but of course, if you have any questions or need elaboration, please subscribe, like the channel, and then leave your comment or question below, and I'll do my best to answer it. So here are your bonus tips. Number 1, you can look into booking group rates on your next cruise, and sometimes you get some additional credit with any of these bookings. Tip bonus number 2, go to a casino and sign up for the Players Club. You can get onboard spending credit for your next cruise. And I do have a video about how a passenger had done that and she got a free cruise. Number 3, purchase onboard credits. So you can pre-purchase onboard credits before your cruise, or maybe you can ask somebody to buy some credits for you. Bonus tip number 4, if you miss a port or have a shortened time at a port because of the ship, you can get onboard credit for the value of your portion of the port fee that was missed. And for this last bonus, I should say this is not my favorite one, but it is another way that you could get onboard credit. So bonus number 5 is that you could ask for credit for something like a prepaid excursion or a spa service that you no longer need or want, or the cruise line could offer you a goodwill or incentive cruise credit for something. But I'm not suggesting that you should go out of your way to ask for this cruise money, but I've seen people who have legitimate problems that could only be resolved with money, i.e. cruise credits. Well, again, thank you so much for listening to me share my 10 ways to get more onboard cruise credits. And I sincerely hope these tips were helpful and that I can make your next cruise even better with all that newfound spending money. And if you want to let me know about any other tips that you may have on how to get more onboard cruise credits, don't forget to let me know down in the comments. My name is Tori from the KirkToriStory, where we sold our house in Canada so that we could travel the world on a budget. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you again in the next video.